So in video 1, we talked about how to safely and effectively use masks. So today I'm going to talk to you about assessing whether people are using gloves in a way that is keeping themselves and you safe, and for you to know how to use gloves to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. So on that first area, whether gloves are being used effectively. And the reason you might want to be able to evaluate this is as you start to go to restaurants or hair salons and you see people wearing gloves, it may be helping protect you, but it may not. And it's probably good to be able to tell the difference. So if someone has gloves on and they are touching their face or pretty much their body or skin in general, they might as well not have bothered with the gloves. They are not keeping you safe, and they are not keeping themselves safe. And really, these are just decorative and uncomfortable at that point. So that's unfortunate. The other big no-no, and nurses already understand this 6 ways to Sunday, is that you need to be changing your gloves after every time you've had a close interaction with a set of people. So let's say you're a waiter and you take care of table A, and you've taken their drinks to them and taken away empty, dirty dishes. You don't want to then go to the next table with the same set of gloves on, because you're taking all of the germs that were at table A and now transferring them to table B. So how do you rapidly change gloves? That's a good question, because if you've been practicing with gloves at all right now, you know that once your hands get even a little bit sweaty, it's impossible to get another set of gloves on. It's a fight. So this is a trick that you'll see a lot of the nurses use, particularly the ones doing the COVID swab tests, is that you put on as many pairs of gloves as you can possibly fit over your hands, like 5 sets. You may have to move up a size as you get out to the 4th or 5th pair. But what this allows you to do is that once you've served table A and you're done with table A and you want to be able to move to taking care of table B, or you've taken care of one customer, you're ready to move to the next customer, you can now help to take off your first set of gloves. So now that you only have, you're in your next set of gloves. So you don't have to put on a whole new pair and try and get them on your sweaty hands. And you can do this for about 4 or 5 times before you're probably going to take a break, dry your hands off really good, and then move to putting on a new set of 5 gloves. So, no-nos. If you see people touching their face with gloves, if you see people interacting closely with people and then not changing their gloves, then those gloves are useless and they are not keeping you or the person wearing them realistically safe. So now, how do you use gloves safely and effectively? Well, you should also not go out and touch things and then touch your face. You need to pretend like your gloves are absolutely covered in something absolutely disgusting. If you need to picture feces, go for it. If you're equestrian, that probably won't work. Think of something absolutely disgusting that you don't want to transfer onto everything else that you want to keep clean. Now, something I do in the lab to have my graduate students learn how to use gloves well is that I cover their gloves in paint. And they need to know that they should never get paint in any of the clean, safe spaces, so you have to take your gloves off beforehand. So if you go to the grocery store and you're like, I need to keep my car clean, Jackie. Okay, well then maybe you want to use gloves, but that means that when you're done grocery shopping, before you get back into the car, your gloves need to come off, because this is not what you want to grip your steering wheel with. And when you do throw them away, please throw them in the trash. This is not what someone else should have to clean up for you. This is your personal protective equipment. You should have to clean it up. So please make sure you do that. Now, for the majority of cases, as long as you're not going to touch your face, You go in, you do your shopping, you come out, you drive home and you wash your hands and you're fine. So you don't necessarily need gloves. Gloves are most useful when you're in a situation where you're going to have to touch things that you really aren't excited for having to touch, and you know you're not realistically going to get the opportunity to wash your hands anytime soon. So that's when you would be most inclined to use gloves. So the last little bit is, okay, now we've got these gloves, Jackie. How do you take them off without getting all that nastiness on yourself? That's a good question. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pinch the glove. Usually down around the wrist is where you've got enough slack to do it, but pretty much anywhere you can get enough slack. And then you've got it inside out, and you start to pull it the rest of the way inside out. So now you've created your inside out glove, which is great because this now gives you another one to grab your next glove on, grabbing again down around the wrist and starting to turn it inside out. And if you've done it correctly, there is no paint on your hands. And this is a great way to practice at home. Hey, fun for the kids, get finger paint out. It's easy, but it does take practice to do it quickly and effectively. And this is one of the reasons I have graduate students practice this technique of being and still be able to take those gloves off in a way that doesn't contaminate them, because in the lab we're actually working with stuff that absorbs through the skin, which it can be a great deal more dangerous than the COVID-19 virus. But I hope again that this was helpful. Certainly leave comments or questions if you like, and stay safe and stay healthy out there.